your story is playing out like an old identity, and you can see that it's an old identity. It still grabs you somehow, but you know you have the beginnings of a new identity. So the you who responds is not fully present in the new identity. Otherwise, it would just wash off. Okay, so if nothing happened in your life, it would be hard to interface. So it's as if an old story, if it's still pulling strings, it is kind of like going to the movies or reading a book or playing a game that's a little difficult that you still have to improve. It's the way you look at something as good or bad because it's still pulling you in. So, just like history, as I was saying in the introduction, is if history is Egypt or Napoleon, as I was saying, we can relate to it. It doesn't mean anything too much to us because it's not personal. We can get caught in the story and in who won and what happened. So can we see our own history this way? A bit like, oh, it's fun and how I got caught here and I did this. I still do this. It's the attitude with which you look at something that is still pulling you in. Okay, what are the emotions? Do you get annoyed? Do you get frustrated, angry, sad, embarrassed and ashamed? Or is there something inside of you that says, I shouldn't be getting wrapped up in that, or I shouldn't allow that to pull me back in? Okay. So they're giving me an analogy. If you like driving, or we could go back to skiing or anything, going in a straight line is maybe the most productive in time or whatever it is. But we have a route here from where I live to Buenos Aires, and there is literally a route a part of it, which is 300 kilometers without a bend. It is just one straight line. And it becomes tedious and boring and dangerous. It lulls you. So imagine the sensation of driving and feeling the bend and staying attentive or aware on the road. Does the curve become an interesting part of the road, or is it annoying? Does it keep your attention alive? There we go. So how we initiated this, it is more how you interpret when something is still pulling you back in and that you say it's wrong, instead of saying, oh, look, a nice little merry-go-round again. I know this game. So they're building up for transmission to create space in how you see something. If you're being pulled in, it's because you're not fully present in the new you, in the new consciousness. And that's all it is. That's all you need to say. Oh, I'm not fully present in the embodied self. Something is still pulling me. There we go. So here comes the transmission. So what pulls you back is a sensation of, it's an emotion, highly likely, of something's pulling me back and it feels undone, that I'm not there yet, or so it's an emotional pull. So try and give this a sensation, a reading, as if it weren't your history, as if it were something from a slightly different timeline, like Alexander the Great. It created history, and you live the history it created, but it's not your history. Try and see your past as if you could see it like that. It is my history, but it's not really. There we go. I'm going to get that identity. See if we can jump timeline. So just like you can learn from history, like when you're at school, what happened, but you don't make it personal. See if you can learn from your history and not make it personal. The crew understands that that is a strange concept, but the willingness to try it out will create that space. Create that distance. Imagine that past defines you. Imagine if it didn't, as if it were a movie. It belonged to someone else. You are only here in the present moment. Imagine for a moment there's a part of you that needs to make sense of you. So it sees a pattern, it sees your history, and your history and the repeating of it, the narrating of it, the belief in your history creates your present day. But what if it didn't? Just for a moment, imagine you don't have any history. As if you were born today. So if you have a program of efforting or struggling or being lazy or whatever it is, it has no meaning to you. All the possibilities are equally available because you have no investment in a past. Does that feel like too much freedom? Does that feel like there's no meaning to going forward? And whatever you feel is fine. It's just an exercise. So the more you can see your past, as you detaching from it, and you're only attached to the places where you haven't resolved or there's still a charge, the freer you are to choose new pathways, different pathways. Or one step further, imagine you were born today and you could actually remember who you are. There's a real pull into looking back and learning from your mistakes, but usually we install a mistake and we repeat. So that's why we say history repeats itself. So what if you truly knew who you were and you were born today? Would you choose consciously to suffer? Would you choose to effort? Would you choose to struggle? Doesn't mean you can't enjoy a challenge. So this is a bit like here at school anyway, if you don't pass your history exam or your maths exam, you might go to the next year, but you have to do that exam. It follows through with you. So it feels like whatever we don't resolve, it just keeps on dragging behind us. But what if you could jump a timeline? Literally say that is no longer me. I let go of it. I don't need to go back and heal it, integrate it. I can just jump to different consciousness, move, shift. Just allow yourself to entertain that idea. So what I'm seeing is it's as if there is energy stuck in those places which feel unresolved. And that's why they come up again and again. What if you can just pull your energy out of them as if you didn't take it personally, as if it were the history of Napoleon or Alexander the Great? It means, so it means something, but it's not personal. Quantum consciousness. See if you can pull the energy back into you. Even if it's unresolved, even if there's still a charge, see if you can pull your energy back into you, into the present moment. So it's not to deny the history, because everything that happened was for your development. So no regrets and no punishments and no, it just is. But see if you can pull your energy out of it and then let it be a little flatter. Good. Okay, that feels freer in the group. See if you can sense that in yourself. So when you pull the energy out, very often we want to be the new self so that the old self, the past self, doesn't entrap us again. But it's as literally as if you want to distance yourself from that's wrong and I want to do the right thing. But here the difference is just pull the energy out of your past and allow yourself to be in the present moment. Allow your past to be perfect just as it was. So they're saying if there was a traumatic experience like breaking a leg and it was traumatic, it's still going to be in your history, but the charge and the need to relive it or to tell it or to make it important. That's what they say, for you to find something important in your past gives it energy. So pull the energy out of it. And let it be, but don't let it define you. Imagine standing in a place and your past, your history is like timelines, like train tracks. And so your future is highly likely just following that trajectory. But imagine that you can let go of what is at your back and that the array of possibilities in front of you are just like ice cream flavors and you have never tried any of them and it's exciting to try one or the other. There's no preference. Everything is possible. Very good. Again, it might feel strange, but just try it on for size. You might say, how do I know what I like? But you will always go to the same flavor. And maybe if you don't know your past as the importance of it, would you try a new flavor? Would you open up to a new avenue? Would a timeline appear to you that is out of the ordinary? Oh, deep breath in and come on